Hey YouTube, welcome back. Once again, it's time to find out what's in the box. I got several packages in the last few days from Quartermaster Logistics. That's where most of them came from. I've kind of lost track as to what's in which box, so I guess we'll just have the fun of discovering these together to find out exactly what I have in the box today. So without further ado, we get started on this one. I believe this is H Holmes Murder Castle with the second story expansion, but I'm not entirely certain. This one did come from QML. I'm assuming the box got wet, or it's not packaged right. It is a little bloated, a little curved on the side here. I just cut it, but it's definitely got a bit curved. We'll hope it's packed well. Alright, it is H Holmes. You see it there. It does appear to be pretty well packed in bubble wrap. Yes, in shrink. No damage to the... no immediately visible water damage or anything to the box. So it's always nice to see that. Little note from QML. Nothing further hiding in the box, so we can get rid of that. Crimes in the Murder Castle. Crimes in History, H Holmes Murder Castle. With the second story expansion. Let's take a look inside the box. We'll see what all we got. Front, back with contents. Nothing real fancy on the sides. Pretty standard. Obviously rated for calic size. Adjust the camera just a little bit, having trouble reaching out that far. Let's try something like that and see if that holds. Alright. So we got a little promotional order this as well. Rulebook. It says 23 pages, but does not particularly feel super thick. Feels like a nice thin book. We'll get into that later. We have the room tiles. All in punch boards. I do believe these are shuffled and drawn randomly. Good thick stock on the room tiles. Always like to see that. A little bending on this one here. It doesn't appear to have affected the tiles though. Looks like it's just some bending and creasing on the outside. It might have just been the way it was packed into this box. Looks like it didn't quite fit, so that somebody kind of just pushed it in. But fortunately, it appears that damage is outside of the tiles. Same thing, more tiles. These ones seem a little thinner with your standees. This definitely feels a little thinner stock. Yeah, definitely. If it's not thinner stock, it's definitely a different type of cardboard. Draw bag. Dual layer board. I'm a big fan of dual layer board, something to hold things in place. I believe this is for the one versus all mode, if I remember correctly. Again, I could be wrong. That happens. I typically have forgotten these by the time they show up. I see them on Kickstarter, fall in love, and then just worry about them once they show up. I'm not big on following the campaign super close, except for a few. It looks like there might be a little warping of some of these player boards. Push that back. Yeah, the player boards got a bit warped. They definitely rock back and forth. I'll have to press them in something to get them to flatten out. It's unfortunately sloppy packing is all that is. They were not packed into the box, or it wasn't taken into account when it was packed. We have a dial. Yeah, it's definitely a dial of some sort. Again, not sure what it's used for off the top of my head, but... what else we got in here? Metal key. I'm sure I paid extra for that. I barely remember this campaign. I think I actually late pledged it. Lots of cubes. Never have enough cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 or 6 different colors in there. And we have a fake evidence bag. I'm trying to right side up so you can see it too. I believe this is something that gets drawn. One of these days I'll actually research these before I do the videos, but that'll take all the fun out of it. Cards. Those seem to be in pretty good shape. Let's see if we can open up a couple of packs of cards. Bane of my existence, a pack of cards. There is unfortunately very little room inside the box for those of us that like to sleeve cards. So I'll have to take a look and see if this is a game worth sleeving or not. I sleeve most of my games. I'm not sure what all these cards do, but I'm sure these are some sort of, it looks like a roll. Who's good, who's bad sort of thing. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. That's what the instruction book is for. Right now I'm just looking at components. Make sure everything's intact and looking good. And another larger pack of cards here. Again, I'm sure everything's pretty good. Decent cards. Fairly standard. Nothing jumping out at me here. They're smooth. No texture to them at all. On a fairly standard card stock. There is hiding in here. There are some minis. There we go. Let's take a look at a few of them here. I believe these were your investigators. Try and bring these guys in nice and close. Maybe you can actually see them here. Let's see if we can focus in on one. Focus. There, a little bit. Try and draw this in a touch. There we go. Now you can see them. A little bit of detail on these guys. Not a ton going on. Wouldn't be too bad to paint these guys. Not a ton of little tiny things to go after, which could even prove a little more difficult, I suppose, depending on what school of thought you're in on that. Got a little bit more going on with this one, but again, not a ton of too special. No big belt items or lots of little pockets and gizmos and whatnot. Fairly straightforward sculpts. This is the type of game, though, I think you buy for minis. I think this is probably more buying for the theme of it. That's why I bought it, just the H Holmes theme. Yeah, some big mold lines on this one here. I'll take some filing if I decide to paint them up. Anyway, you guys kind of get the idea. I'll bring up the last few here, just so we can get a good look at all the minis. But again, yeah, just not lots of detail. No major flaws, though. That's one of the advantages to being a little less detailed. So other than some mold lines that'll need to be filed or sanded down. And we'll finish off with this guy here. So if you're looking at it, that's H Holmes Murder Castle. If you decide you want it, I believe they're still doing late pledges on that one. Oh, I did miss one component, maybe. There's well, it's probably part of the dial. Okay. That was not abundantly clear, but some piece of the dial that I found sitting in here. Anyway, there you have it. Take a look at the rest of the channel. Lots more games posting here probably today. I'll probably just post them all straight up. So once again, thanks for checking out what's in the box.